I made a reaction to a comment that I got a while back about, they said that I don't know about the government shutdown and all that. Well, coming at it from a right wing, mid right wing conservative point of view, the shutdown is overspending. I mean, priority where our money's going. I mean, you got the right more focused on defense and things like that, as the left is focused more on social programs and things like that to help the people. And they just shut down because they can't agree on money and programming and where the money should go and things like that. I could make a whole thing about it, but it would be a video so long that nobody would watch it. But I mean, I just coming to let you know, I do know what I'm talking about. It is about budgeting, about money, about like I said, the right wants to focus more on defense, militarily things like that. The left wants the money to go to more social programs, EBT, just things like that. And the government can't, the right and the left, as usual, can't agree on either one. And right now, there's like waiting on, I think, like maybe 6 votes from the left to open the government back, but they won't. And I'm not saying I'm taking the right or left side, either one. I mean, there's people, so no matter if you're on the right or left, which side you agree on, there's people suffering from both. I mean, when it comes to up there in Washington, the politics and all that, I think all politicians are crooked. I mean, like they say, you have to be like a sociopath to be president or anything like that. So I guess when it comes down to it, we just kind of go with the lesser of two evils. But I voted for Trump. I'm for Trump. I don't agree with everything Trump does, and I believe that if you're a person that agrees with everything one politician or another does, then you haven't done the research. There's not going to be one person out there where you're going to agree with every single thing. It's just not happening. Like, I mean, I'm a right wing conservative, but I also believe in, food stamps, Section 8. I believe in disability, Social Security. I believe people need help, and then we should help them. But I also believe we should have small government, and they shouldn't interfere in our lives no more than they have to. I mean, I used to be more into the right, but now all this back and forth has got, you either get people are either getting pushed to the left or the right. And I think also social media is radicalizing people. I really do. I think that due to the algorithm, if you start if you're on the right and you start, you know, getting into some of these people, these social media influencers that are talking about it, and then the algorithm just keeps feeding you and feeding you and feeding you. Same thing on the left, if you're against Trump and all that, the algorithm just feeds you more and more of that stuff. So I think that social media is a big responsibility for people being radicalized, because our social climate, I mean, it's everything's political these days. Even people that don't even get into politics, these politics are starting to affect everybody's life. I think there are people out there, I'm not saying everybody, but there are people out there who really do need EBT, and they are going to suffer this month. And most of those people are not online griping about it. Most of the people online griping about it are the people that could go get a job and buy their own food. So, I think there was a lot of corruption when Biden and them were in office that we got to work out and things. I think there's people on that are getting paid by the government that don't deserve it, and I think, you just wrap all this up in a big bow and there you go. You got the shutdown. I mean, like I said, I'd be on here for 20, 30 minutes trying to explain everything that the shutdown's about. But to all the people out there in my comments that say I don't know what I'm talking about, I do the research, and I do not come on here until I know the facts and that they are facts. And if it is an opinion, I tell you this is my opinion. And also, y'all have to forgive me. I have a sinus infection. My sinus, you can see they're swollen. But right or left, man, we got to fix this. We got to get the government up and running. We got to get our military paid. We got to get these, people, especially people with children and things that need this EBT. We got to get this going. We got to quit blaming each other and just figure out what we got to do to fix it. Because if we're just going to keep blaming each other like this, we're just going to be headed straight for a civil war. I like to say that right now we're in like the Cold War. I think we're in a cold civil war right now, where it's all words and action. And Yeah, there's people on both sides calling for political violence, but you only see the ones on the left acting on it, you know? So, I mean, like I said, I'm a right wing conservative, but I can also admit when I'm wrong when my party's wrong. Not saying that's what I'm doing now, but I'm saying I can. And I don't think we should stop worrying about who's right or wrong and just start worrying about how we're going to fix this. How we're going to get the government up and running, get our military paid, get the people that really, really need their EBT, get their EBT back up. I'm all for that. And I'm all for digging in and finding out who don't need EBT and cutting them off. Our country's debt right now is insane. We got to get out of debt. We got to quit printing money. We got to get the inflation rate under control. I think the inflation grew like, I might be wrong, but I remember in some research I done a while back, I think it was like 25% raised during the Biden administration, or at least in the last 5 years. I think it's what it said, 25% in the last 5 years. That's crazy, especially when the price of things is going up, but like minimum wage and how much we're being paid is not going up. I mean, people are suffering right now. I've seen it. I know. It's hard times right now, and this government shutdown is not helping anything. So, I think we just need to quit worrying about who's right and wrong and all that and just seeing what we're going to have to do to fix it. And one of my favorite sayings by any president was when Abraham Lincoln clearly said, "A house divided cannot stand." And that's the truth. We're going to keep tearing at each other, and it's getting where it's like spiteful almost, to where we just want to spite the other side. And you got these politicians going at each other, and it's only the people on the bottom that are suffering. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a lower class person. I work, I have a job, but I'm also a single parent who also takes care of my father. I have, low income. And it was at one point in my life when I did rely on EBT, and it really helped me out of a bind, but I didn't stay on it because I didn't need it. But, I just think we need to fix it. I think we need to quit blaming each other, quit insulting each other. We can worry about our agendas later. You can worry about the trends crap later, all that. Right now, we need to focus on getting the government up and running. That is what we need to focus on. Quit blaming each other and just get to what we got to do to fix this so we can climb out of this rut before it gets any worse. Because, I mean, we're only a few days away from having the record long shutdown. I mean, imagine some of these people that really, really depend on EBT, these elderly people who can't work. They depend on this EBT. If we have to go another month, 2 months without it, I don't know, I just don't know. Like I said, I'm calling for unity. I know that there's a lot of bad blood right now, especially with the Charlie Kirk shooting against right and the left, and especially how the left reacted and celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. I think it's sickening, and I think it's going to be hard. And I'm not saying we have to forgive them. I'm just saying right now we have to unite so we can fix the problem. All right, we got to just put our differences aside, agree to disagree, deal with that later. Right now, let's get the government up and running. Let's get everything back on track. Then we can worry about our other bullshit. All right. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just going on a rant here. I'm just, because like I said, I'm low. I mean, I'm a low income person. I'm on the poverty line pretty much. But I mean, I'm not complaining for myself. I just see other people, neighbors of mine and things that are suffering right now because of this government shutdown. They're not getting their EBT, which I did hear something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. Like I said, I don't know. This is something I don't know, but I heard something maybe about these people getting like half of what they normally get, which I mean, anything would be good right now. But hey, this is 10 minutes long, and I know people don't really watch my long videos, so there probably ain't nobody going to see this anyways. But if you are watching them at this point, please subscribe, please like. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. You don't have to insult, just correct me. We can talk about it. We don't have to insult each other. That's what's wrong with our country right now. That's why we're at each other's throats. So we cannot have a civil conversation. If you disagree with me, tell me you disagree with me and put what you think. If I'm wrong, correct me, whatever. We can talk about it. An open dialogue is what's going to save this nation. God bless everybody out there. Jesus loves you. I love you. God bless America. Come on, people. Let's get together and fix this, all right? Let's get the government up and running, all right? I love you guys. I love America. Be safe.